anniversary and celebrating that with my husband, and get to step in today and join all you ladies, and just I'm constantly reminded how incredibly blessed I am. So let's see. I'm going to adjust my screen just a little bit over so that I can see you guys. I feed off the energy of everyone, so I want to. Do you guys know how to reduce your screen a little bit? Tiffany, do you want to give us some tech tips?
Sure, absolutely. So if you're on a single screen, you can move your window just like you normally would, but you can also adjust between speaker view and gallery view. So if you want to see everybody, make sure you're on speaker view. If you want to see just the primary speaker, you can change it to speaker view. You're going to see the speaker big with just a few people on the top, and gallery view, you're going to see everybody.
I love it.
Perfect.
I just pulled my screen so I can see people and the screen.
Yes. Yeah,
can you
that's
explain
nice.
that, Tiffany?
And well, everybody's computer's a little bit different, so we kind of have to play with it. But yeah, you can, like on my screen, I have the gallery, and I can see the participants list and the chat, and I still have things behind it that I can access really quickly. So you can play with it and get it to where you need it to work, which is nice.
Awesome.
That's fabulous. That's been such a great gift. There's two little lines on my computer over towards the right of the PowerPoint, and if I move that over, that reduces the size of the PowerPoint and allows me to see more people. I don't know if that would work for you guys or not, but that'd be great.
Good morning,
so we always
Jeannie Strickland.
Oh, hi, Jeannie. I didn't even see you join us.
Good morning, ladies.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So one of the gifts that we get at the beginning of our meeting every month is a centering moment. And I don't know if you guys have seen the movie The Peaceful Warrior or not. If not, it's a movie that I probably watch 3 or 4 times a year because it is exactly what I usually need to experience. But there's some lines in there that I believe brings us to a higher evolution of who we are. And this is what I would like for our centering moment to be today. So if you could sit back in your chairs or find a very comfortable space and take a moment to breathe in for 5, hold it for 5, and out for 7. We're going to do that 3 times. So in for 5, hold for 5, and out for 7. In for 5. Hold for 5. And out for 7, 6, 5, 4. Last time. In for 5. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And out for 7, 6, 5, 4. So the question is, where are you? And in your mind, respond, here. What time is it? Now. What are you? This moment. Just take that in for a moment. Because all we are, all we have, and all we get is this moment now. Yesterday no longer matters. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. And so we have this moment. And when you're ready, come right back to your screen. Welcome back. Shava doesn't want to leave. Once again, if you're just joining us, if you will add your name and information to the chat room, that would be great. So our vision for Gateway to Dreams is by inspiring dreams into action, we are the model to positively changing the world. And our mission for Gateway to Dreams is to inspire action and give voice and clarity to the dreams of individuals, creating a ripple effect that positively impacts the social and economic well-being of our community. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Karen, and she's going to share about our story.
Actually, I'm not going to do too much on that, except to just to be grateful that we have this community, that we have a sisterhood and a few cool guys that support dreams and people helping people with their dreams. Our values are all about creating a better community, loving more and judging less, working on being as positive as Darlene talked about. In our brains, we have more negative thoughts than positive, but we can work to change patterns. In fact, Darlene does a workshop in St. Louis twice a year about changing the pathways in the brain. And Angie does too. Angie works with helping people with their brains, right, Angie? And when we talk about heart smart connections and collaboration, it's like really caring about people. I think any networking we do can have heart smart connections and collaboration. We just want to make sure we don't forget that the heart is the beginning of everything. Pay it forward. Who can we help? We will be asking today with our nonprofits that speak, what can we do to support them, or asking them what they can think of, but paying it forward. I have found in my life that sharing ideas, information, or introductions is even as more powerful or as powerful as donating money. There are so many ways we can make a difference, and sometimes we think it has to be harder. Energetic empathy, sometimes those that really get in tune to the community, when somebody's having an off day. I don't know if Sheva is Sheva, are you on? So I don't see, yes. So Sheva's having kind of a down time right now. Her boyfriend's family, his mother died. And I'm saying that just because we can be more empathetic. In fact, I heard the term radical empathy. And I just also read, I can't remember the guy who wrote this, but it's someone well known. Treat each person as if today was their last day. How would you treat someone if you knew that today was their last day? What can we bring to the table to be more loving and kind? And empowering language. Darlene talked about, when I said the word try, there is no try. There's do or do not. So famous words, but even things like when we kind of put ourselves down because we're not good with technology, and one way to say it is, instead of I suck, is I'm learning. That's a different energy. So, I'm not really wanting to go more today, but our values to me really speak to what you guys bring to the table as well as these traits. So Darlene, back to you.
All right, and thank you very much. And our Zoom meeting is hosted by Tiffany Huckelman today. So Tiffany, thank you for your constant guidance, and can I just say, saving our butt sometimes. So thank you, I bow to you. Each month we have a sponsorship that you can participate in. It's $100 to be included in pre-events and Facebook Lives, and as well as 3 minutes in front of the audience. Is Dawn here today?
I don't think so, but if we can talk about
I'll share her stuff.
Yeah.
So Dawn is an American family insurance guru. She is a licensed insurance professional with 12 plus years experience in the property and casualty insurance industry and 19 years of life insurance sales. In addition to being a licensed insurance professional, Dawn has earned her Bachelor of Science degree in economics from the University of Missouri. She's the daughter of 2, a sister to 1, a friend to many, and the proud mother of 4 amazing individuals. Her oldest daughter, listen to this, you guys, super cool. Her oldest daughter is currently at the US 2021, which we know is 2022, US Olympics. She's in the hammer thrower event, so hooray for her. Her youngest daughter is at Mizzou pursuing her career in health and sciences. Her older son is an entrepreneur like his mom and has started his own sports training business. That's pretty cool. And her youngest son is currently a junior in high school. And at 6'2", basketball is his superpower. When Dawn's not working, you can find her enjoying a walk at Creve Coeur Lake, which is one of her favorite places to take in nature. Dawn enjoys reading a good book, solving puzzles. While loving the challenges of jigsaw puzzles, she prefers Sudoku or a logic puzzle when she just wants to wind down for the evening. And I'm going to tell you, she spelled wine as W-I-N-E. So I don't know if that was a Freudian slip or not. Dawn loves attending church and serving in the accounting ministry. Some of her other hobbies include cooking, writing, and traveling. Dawn believes life is best enjoyed in the presence of family and great friends while fulfilling a worthwhile purpose of serving others before self. So amen, Dawn, thank you. If we have her information, maybe we can add that to the chat as well, so we would know how to contact her.
I'd like to share too, this is our first corporate sponsor. We have had large businesses that are St. Louis based, but American Family has become a sponsor of Gateway. And for those that don't know, American Family is all about dreams. They have their own dream facility, Dream Bank in Madison, Wisconsin. So this is a big deal for Gateway that we are starting to attract national sponsors. Yay!
Yay!
Thank you, Dawn.
Hooray! So we want to get to know you. Let's see. Tiffany's going to add a document to the chat. It's a that will help you introduce yourself. And we're going to take about 60 seconds to fill it out. There, oh, there you go. Thank you, Tiffany. And if you'll just leave it up while we do all of the introduction so we can just follow along, that would be awesome. So what we want to do is, are we going to break out into rooms? Are we going to do this? Okay, so Tiffany's going to break us out into rooms, and we're going to need one person in whoever shows up in your room, whose ever birthday is closest to today. It is going to be your responsibility to hold each of those to 60 seconds, because we want everyone to have an opportunity to introduce who they are. And in doing that, if you could introduce yourself, kind of follow the card that we have, the script, if you will, and that really helps you facilitate it. And at 60 seconds, if your facilitator says 60 seconds, if you would just, no matter what's going on, just stop and introduce, close out Darlene Hurt, you Empowered Services, like that, then that would be really great. So it might sound something like this. I'm going to follow this. My name is Darlene Hertz. I own You Empowered Services and Team Referral Network. My company specializes in being the key to success, being the missing link for people who are really seeking greater success in their life. I'm looking for partnerships and connections with regional managers of MLMs, chiropractors, and realtors. In my professional life right now, I need to continue setting up my processes so everything is at the click of a button. In my personal life right now, I need to go hiking today again here in Wyoming. That would be great. In the next 60 days, I'm looking to purchase a new easel for when I train. And a dream that I would like to share with you is that I hope to start a nonprofit in about 3 years for 7th and 8th grade junior high girls, to help them become more confident in who they are and accept themselves fully and completely, so that when they go to high school, they can say, I got this. So that's my goal. Yay, Tracy, I know we have a lot
Tracy
to
loves
chat.
that.
Yeah.
She can do some mentoring.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, Tracy, when I was reading your bio today, I'm like, there's a girl I'm gonna have a conversation with. So yes.
Love it.
So let's go ahead and break into our timing. And then Tiffany, I think you'll tell them when we have about 60 seconds left. Is that right?
Yes, yes. So I will, in a minute here, you will see a magic blue button on your screen. You can click into that and we'll go into about 4 groups. I'll give you about 6 minutes total, but again, like Darlene said, make sure everybody has about 60 seconds, and then you will get a notification when you have 60 seconds left in the room, and then the room will close down automatically. So you'll have to wrap it up quick. All right, here we go.
Oh, also,
Yes,
if you
yeah.
put the link for the download, you can actually see if you click it in the chat, Tiffany put the link that you can see while you're in the breakout room.
Yes.
Go ahead and click on that. So then that will be on your browser. So
Yep. I'll put it in there again. You can download it. I put the text in the chat so you can copy and paste that, or you can take a quick snapshot on your picture on your phone of the screen. So there's a lot of ways to do it, but that way you can follow. All right. Unfortunately, I can't get anything into the chat once you're in the break room. So you have to do it now. All right. I'm going to go ahead and give you your magic button. If you're taking care of getting your script, keep doing that and then go into your room. All right. Here we go.
I am so excited about what we're going to do today. We have about 2 or 3 times a year, we do panel conversations, and that's what gets to happen today. And it's going to look just a little different since since we're virtual. Instead of having the panel where everyone talks, we're going to do it one by one. So I'm going to give you some questions and maybe some that pop up along the way. And we're going to give each speaker about 10 minutes to have a conversation with us about what they have. And what's really super cool about today is that we're focusing on nonprofits. And it's probably really special to my heart. That has been my world. You know, I grew up in the nonprofit world in the centrally of always being a volunteer and helping out and all that kind of stuff. So I know and understand the work that it takes. And for somebody to take this on as their life mission is just courageous, brave, and not only do they affect the change internally by choosing that, the true nature of energy out into the universe, out into the world is just second to none. So we appreciate each and every one of them. So today we're going to start off by introducing our friend, Sue Blandford. For the past 70 years, Sue's been an explorer, an inventor, mentor, daughter, and wife. This sequence from self to the world profoundly changes and excites Sue's imagination and continues to enhance her personal and business relationships. Play has been at the heart of Sue's fondest memories, awakening the child within and sustaining the woman Sue has become. Creating play spaces for others to breathe in this simple truth. Sit and be amazed connects Sue with a higher meaning and purpose for her life. For this, Sue is truly thankful. As the founding executive director of St. Louis's Teachers Recycle Center Incorporated and master play coach for the past 30 years, Sue has presented both nationally and internationally, encouraging the value of play and discovery using creative, reusable resources. As a mentor for new reuse centers, Sue has supported the development of new programs into reality. Sue continues to be amazed at the valuable lessons learned as a nonprofit and how to navigate the challenges and realize dreams. So Sue, welcome. So my first question, like the hot question to me is, what brought you to be where you are today, to start the nonprofit, to live the nonprofit, to breathe the nonprofit? What brings you there today?
I was an early childhood educator, and I was sent to Italy, and I got to study an approach called Reggio Emilia. And it's really where children get materials that provoke them to think. So I'm a provocateur, if you want to call that. And I went to Boston to listen to the same educators and was put in a room with this gentleman that had recycled material. I'm going, and you know, you pay your own way to go when you go someplace for a conference, and then you sleep in a dorm, not super comfortable, but I was away from all my little kids at home and excited about learning this new approach. And so I would, instead of going to the one I wanted to, because they were busting out of the seams for the people from Italy, I went to this socially conscious, go to where I'm scheduled, and it changed my life. Because what happened was it was all around play. And it wasn't play in the way that we think about children just going outside to play or doing something like that. It was really investigating the creative process. What happens when children go someplace, when you say it in their head, where you say it's time to clean up and they don't hear you? I think that I have realized that's a sacred space that we all need to visit constantly to find out this flow of information that you were saying about negative thoughts, positive thoughts, but also connecting with what you know. So I want everyone to feel like they're the expert of what they know. So when we do workshops or whatever, that's what my focus is. So I come back to St. Louis with all this wonderful information, and I visited Boston's Public Schools Recycle Center. And we stuffed the plane full of all these materials that kept rolling out into the aisle, and the plane can't do that anymore. But this was a long time ago. And so I came back to St. Louis and said, I want to start a center. So I started in my garage, and my husband's car had to get out because we have a little house. And then down at the end of my street, there was a junior achievement building, and it was vacant in June, July, and August. Cinder block building, ladies, no windows and no air conditioning and a flat tar roof. I said, I got a space. So I moved into there and started inviting my teacher friends to come. And actually McDonnell Douglas at the time, they came because they had given us a lot of pieces and parts. And they go, well, the teachers feel like it's Christmas in here. I said, your materials that don't feel very powerful, and often children don't feel very powerful, you put those two together and it's magic what happens. So I started my quest of my 17 times to move in St. Louis. And when my husband looks at the space and says, we're not moving again, I'm going, well, you know, we'll see. So I'm in Chesterfield Mall. I feel it's where the universe, God wants me to be, because he's sending me all these people to donate their time that I didn't have before. We're starting to see COVID go in the background and teachers are coming in. We're very careful. You just need to call me and I'll get my car. I'm 10 minutes away and I will meet you at the back door and you can shop all by yourself.
That's awesome.
So
Awesome.
my goal was to be able to bring this to some fruition, and I keep about 10,000 pounds out of the landfill every 6 months, which goes out to teachers and parents and scout groups. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about the circle that seems to happen. I seem to be at the part of the circle where the dream will come true, that somebody else will step into my life that said, I'll take this on. And I'm going, you better start looking for your next building. I don't know if you ever read the book, Who Moved My Cheese? But
Yeah.
I've got my tennis shoes on. They're no longer around my neck. So I'm ready to move and make a difference in someone's life that is looking for that possibility.
That's so cool. So you alluded a little bit earlier that you were an educator.
I was early childhood.
And tell us just a little bit about that actual transition.
Okay, so I'm in the classroom, and you need to know my background. I have a high school degree. That's my background. I have some college, but no degree in there. And one teacher said to me when I was in high school, you're going to own your own business. I never did anything with that. I never felt anything about that until somebody said, these things happen. I came together with this possibility of going to Boston. I was an early childhood educator and knew how much materials we had to go out and buy on our own to supply creative, open-ended material for children to think. And that thing came back in my voice, in my head, that someday you're going to own your own business. So it made me brave enough, I think, to take that next step, to try. And so, like I said, we moved 17 times and I kept going, and we kept moving to storage and then back out of storage and then someplace in Lindbergh School District. And So the whole education part of it came to me when I saw little kids play with things that I didn't come up with an idea for. They just were so engaged. And so I stepped away from the classroom to be able to open this business. Brought the classroom back in as I was trained as a play coach, and have been, oh, you haven't lived till you try to get a whole lot of material across the Canadian border to do your workshop. And they're going, what is this stuff? Is it toxic? Is it, it's going to explode? I'm like, I've got suitcases full of this stuff. So yeah, it's, I'm part of a national group that does play work with children and adults.
Great. And just to kind of give you a heads up, when there's 2 minutes left, I'm going to just hold up 2 so you know.
Okay.
And so my next question is, tell us about one of your greatest successes in your nonprofit.
The continuation of it, the tenacity. I say I got turtle tenacity, because even though you think you're like, I think, okay, I'm done. And then somebody says, oh, well, there's this space over here. And I'm going, okay, it's like a brick in a path that you're walking, and you think, okay, remember Mr. Magoo? And he would just walk and he couldn't see, but another beam would come across and you walk across it. I've been walking beams for quite some time, but I found it at first that I had to control it. Like I wanted to be the way I thought it would be, but once you let go and you kind of give way to whatever creative possibilities are out there, it seems like it moves. You feel like you're in the flow rather than trying to swim upstream all the time.
That's great. So what is beyond a financial, most nonprofits, that's the thing that they need the most, quote, is the financial gifting. Well, how else can we as a community support you?
I think the basic thing is just to go on, I don't know what it is with Yahoo and all these places that as soon as you get people going in and making some comment about your company, you pull up more and whatever. But to tell you the truth, I think the people that are supposed to come to me in my life. So hello, everybody. So even if you stop by and just see this thing, come see and visit me and see what I do, that I can help you do what you want to do. That's my goal. So I'm there. Call me and I'll get my car.
So if we had resources within our home that you could maybe use, what would that be?
Well, you would normally go on our website. There's a list, but because of COVID, we're a little bit more, but buttons and beads, and we have a senior group that has some challenges in their life, and they take our clean jars that we get donated and our beads and buttons and everything, and they put them together. And so they come back into our center. So we're helping them, and our volunteers, some of them are on the spectrum, and they come in and they like repetitive, interesting kind of things to do. So we have that possibility too. But in your home, paper towel rolls. I'm not taking toilet paper rolls, but tell you that you can actually go on my website and there's a whole list. We are getting ready to do our first fundraiser for this year. Maybe, hopefully, cross our fingers. It's called the Domino Effect. We're actually going to play dominoes, and it's like industry. The mall helps us by giving us a space that's not super expensive. Industry gives us things that they don't, and the homes give us things they don't want. So it's a positive action. It's almost like being kind. It's a kindness domino effect that I would like to. So you can look at my website. I got all this information up there. It's just sltrc.com. And yeah, I'm sure I can share that as soon as I figure out what you're all doing in this chat thing.
So sltrc.com?
It is. Everyone's
okay.
ST, but it's SLTRC.
Okay. And you have about 30 seconds. Anything else you want to share with us?
I was just wondering, Sheva, what is she still here or is she gone?
She's here.
Sheva, I was wondering what your boyfriend's mother's first name was. Did you hear me?
Marco's mother's name?
Oh, I'm sorry. Her first name is Ramona.
Okay, I will keep Ramona in my thoughts and prayers today.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
For those that didn't hear earlier, her boyfriend, Marco, his mother, who lives in Mexico, just passed away.
Yeah. So we're all sending our energy of love and strength during this time, Shava. I'll speak for the group on that. So thank you so much, Sue, for sharing your movie or your story with us. And a couple of things that I took by is that Sue invites us to stop by and visit her space. Make sure you check out her website for all the different ways that we can help her. And the other thing that I heard from Sue was the power of a words through the teacher's voice, and how that significantly impacted her life. Being a former educator myself, I am very much aware of the importance of how our words can affect children. And sometimes it takes a lifetime to learn to bounce back from those words. And sometimes it is the gift of projecting us forward into a space that we could never even imagine existed previously. So thank you so much, Sue. I so appreciate you sharing with us. Next, we're going to bring on Tracy Berry McGee. So welcome, Tracy. I'm so excited to hear from you. Tracy is the founder of the Sister Keeper Empowerment Center, the I Define Me movement, which was established in 2002, and now with presence locally, nationally, and globally. Yay, Tracy. She's an empowernista, the producer, host, and creator of the Own Your Now show. She's a therapist, author, mentor, and national motivational speaker for women and teen girls. As a social entrepreneur, she travels the country speaking about self-awareness, body image, anti-bullying, literacy, celebrating sisterhood, and how to make a difference in your community. Tracy is also a member of the American Counseling Association, the Alliance of Black Mental Health Professionals, and Delta Sig Theta Sorority. I hope I said that right. St. Louis Metropolitan Alumni Chapter. She's also a nonviolence ambassador for the King Center as part of the St. Louis Black Authors and the Black Authors of Children's Literature. So without further ado, Tracy, we are so excited to hear from you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So my first question is going to be, Tracy, what brought you to your organization today?
Well, first off, I just want to say thank you. I just love this platform. This is my first time seeing it virtually. Of course, I was the Impact St. Louis recipient. Was it like 3 or 4 years ago now, right, Karen?
Yeah.
The dream just keeps coming alive when it comes to what we're doing here in this space. So intentional, so many familiar faces, as well as new faces, and I love that. So I'll just jump right in. Another thing, so Darlene, thank you so much for the centering. That's everything. We have a talk show called Own Your Now Show. And so owning your now is so important. And so I love that. And I just learned how to click the view and look at different ways for everybody's faces to come up. So I'm learning even now, even though I do this all the time with girls. And so Sister Keeper, y'all. Sister Keeper is spelled with the A because it means we're all sisters. And that's why you may have some biological sisters that you love or like, or you don't get along with at all. But most of the time, it's our sisters that keep us, our girlfriends that are really connected to us. And one of the things about our nonprofit, the I Define Me movement, Sister Keeper, it's kind of evolved, is that girls typically say they don't get along. You know, they don't do girls, although we're all girls. And for me, I'm a licensed therapist, and I was in the field of doing intervention. And I thought, no, we need prevention. We don't need to just focus on girl bullying. We need to focus on girl empowerment. And I'm also a writer. So I started Sister Keeper in 2002 in my basement. I listened to Susan talk about the garage. Yeah, I started in my basement with 7 girls because I had 2 daughters. I'm the product of a teen mom, and it was so important to break the cycle. I started with my community because I felt like that's where it was most important, specifically in my home with my daughters dealing with different issues, growing up, looking very different, of course, and realizing that, you know, they're going to deal with a lot of things when they go out into society. And so I don't know if you all can see this, but this is one of our first pictures. The little girl here to the left, or my right here with the braids, this is my oldest daughter. She dealt with bullying. I dealt with bullying as well. People talk about my lips, call me soup coolers and all that, but she dealt with bullying. And she is the oldest daughter, but she's the shortest. And this is my middle daughter, who specifically is in the middle. They don't look alike. She was bigger than her little sister, than her oldest sister. She also dealt with scoliosis. And a lot of times there's things that our kids deal with that people can't really see. And so she struggled with that. And then they had hair differences and color differences. And then this is my niece Faith here, who says, I refuse to wear dresses. I'm gonna rock to my own beat. And so, you know, the thing about it is I wanted girls to see the value of loving themselves completely. And so what we do is literally all these girls would get a journal. And then when they get the journals, they can just decorate them however they choose. And so we go into the schools and we focus on body positivity. We focus on literacy, and we focus on social entrepreneurship. But most importantly, what it looks like to say, I define me. So like, if you all want to put I define me in the chat, because that's what we do. And then when we go into the schools, we also give out t-shirts and we give a band. So they really become a part of a community of knowing that it's bigger than you. So literally 2002, we started in my basement, and then it went from, I wanted to do local, national, global. So then we went into different schools and I started a community-based program. Didn't have my own standalone. So I partnered with other organizations like Girl Scouts and the YWCA and all of the girl programs. There's so many, and there's so many more that are needed, Darlene. So come on board. And it went from, okay, now we got our girls covered. Now we got to make sure we can take care of everyone. I'm a writer, so I wrote a book for our girls and a curriculum for schools. And then I wrote one for our little girls because we went global, right? So this is a little girl named Tracy. I'm Tracy. I met her in Ghana. It's long story short, and I'll tell you about that one day. But this is a poetry book because everything is poetry. The girls can read and write. And then I'm like, but it's global, right? So these are all girls. So this is where we are now. This is what I Define Me looks like, all girls. And so it went from local, national to global. We have podcasts, we have iKeeper Radio, we have YouTube pages, we have read-alongs. And look, the read-alongs have cursive because, you know, I heard they're not teaching cursive writing in schools. I don't know why. You need that for the preamble. And then we also bring people into the community. Since 2002, the only time that we did not have a circle was when everything happened with Mike Brown, and we were in a church. And there was just, we're in the Ferguson, Florissant community, so there were some struggles there. But outside of that, we are back up rolling. When the pandemic happened, we couldn't do circles, so I created an online university. So I've been in Parkway. We do all of the middle school circles in Parkway for 16 years now, well, 18 years now. This last year, they're like, please add our elementary school girls. So we added on 20 more schools because our elementary school girls needed it. And we're in Rockwood, we're in 4 Rockwood middle schools, one of the Ladue middle schools, Hazelwood. And then we also, because I'm a therapist, also all our therapists out there, I also created our Keeper Bear, because girls like to tell their business and their secrets. And you know, people can't hold water. So we talk to them about keeping it safe and make sure that you talk to the bear. So we pass our Keeper Bear because we have a curriculum that I go and travel and teach other school districts how to use social emotional learning in the schools during school hours. So that's how I go and travel. When I do girl assemblies, we do college summits. Every year we do the International Day of the Girl. We partner with the Missouri History Museum. And yeah, and everything that I do, I love it. I'm all about girl empowerment, but most importantly, as a woman going, you know, in my 50s, I really needed to see what it looks like for us to be a part of women organizations. So I really push for us to come together. I'm trying to think. I think that's, you know.
What was your life like before you experienced this excitement? Because you had to be as energetic prior as you are now.
You know, I think the biggest piece for me was I grew up in the St. Louis city. Like I said, my mom was a teen mom. She had me when she was 15, and my mom passed away in 2019. That's how we got this Own Your Now show thing. It's something totally different. But she said, you need to break the cycle. And I didn't see a lot
Amen.
of positive role models in the community. But what I did see was a village of women, all types of women that came together that said, I will take care of you. And so that was really important. Oh, this big piece, y'all, is one of my safe spaces was the library, the Academy Branch Library. So this last year, I bought a wellness mobile. It was one of my dreams. Karen knows about this dream. It's called, you all got to go on our website, IDefineMeMovement.com, but it's called the I Define Me Wellness Mobile. It's the first of its kind in the country. All of our girls are plastered across. It looks like a UPS truck, y'all. I drive it. When you come inside, it's a safe space for girls, and it's all about social entrepreneurship. So we have our body butters, we have our t-shirts, we have lanyards, we have journals, and all of the girls that make products that are part of Sister Keeper, that are ambassadors, we sell those products so that anytime our doors are open, we give out journals. So we give out journals, we give out PPE kits and hygiene kits, because you know our girls, they're going through their menses and nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about sex to the girls. Nobody talks about their cycles. Everybody has a story about how their mom did or didn't, or just ignored it totally. So we want to make that like common, like this happens. And so make sure you're prepared. So for me, it's all about prevention. And it's the first of its kind. It's a literacy mobile, and it's amazing, y'all. Y'all got to see it. We have a selfie stand. All the girls take a pledge, and they come in and they take a pledge to only post positive social media, positivity to social media. They take their own picture, they upload it to their own sites or to their phones themselves, because girls give out the passcodes to everybody. People asking them to take nudes. They might take a nude. There's women who take nudes, but we want them to make sure that they know that you don't post positive negativity anywhere, and you only post for yourself. So
Tracy,
Okay, so
can I interject something real quick? Tracy, do you remember when you were speaking at Gateway and I said, have a picture of the mobile?
yes.
And so you made, like, within 24 hours, you had this picture of a mobile. When I saw that you had it, it was like, yes.
Yes. You got
Sorry, had to interject that.
No,
oh, that's awesome.
see it. You have to see it. And I want girls to see that dreams can become a reality. And, you know, I know this is being recorded, but this is like a safe space. There was a time in my life where I dealt with some incest that happened. And in my family, you know, you tell people if something happens to you, let your family know, or let your mom says, tell me. And so I did. And someone in my family said, are you sure you didn't dream this? And I said, well, if that was a dream, it was a nightmare. But it made me in some way feel like if people feel like you can dream something and it becomes a reality, then anything that I dream, I can make a reality. So I had to change that to a positive. And so anything that I dream, that I see, that I can put in my journal, I can make it happen. And I don't stop. And that's why I mean, I sleep. And I sleep well. I center myself. I do my meditation. I do my shine out. I pray. I own my now. But I know that if I dream it, then I can make it happen.
Oh my gosh. Does anybody want to
Yay.
get up and run around and jump around and stuff after listening to Tracy talk? I'm ready to go.
Let's
Okay,
go.
so tell us how we can best support you beyond a financial means. How else can we support you? And is it IDefineMeMovement.com or org?
.com.
Okay.
Yes. So anytime that you have resources, like we do have our community based. If you want to come and sit on a hot seat and talk to our girls, we love that. Karen came into the school and sat on the hot seat and talked to the girls. They need to see diversity. You know, outside of the schools that I go into that a lot of times are affinity groups, specific to girls of color. Outside of your community, sometimes you just don't see it. So you need to see that we all are real and we get along. So that's a great way to come in. The other thing is if you have, I also have a talk show and I'm bringing people on. Yes, ma'am. Come in, let us know, go to the On Your Now show to come on, because we got to show girls what real women look like in all shapes and sizes, because that's also real. If you have products that you want to donate for us to put in, because anytime that our doors are open, we're giving away sanitary napkins. Hey, if you're menopausal like me, I don't have no more sanitary napkins, but I had a whole lot of them just sitting there and under the drawer. Bring them to us, whatever.
Amen.
All that lip gloss, any kind of stuff to put in there that is healthy, we want it for our girls.
Great. And if you can maybe make that somehow available to us on your website or however that we could have a list of things. That was awesome. Thank you, Tracy. Yay.
Thank you.
Yay, Tracy.
Thank you.
Okay, next we want to bring on Beth Wellness. She is a nonprofit founder, author, podcaster, and speaker. Her nonprofit for breast cancer patients is called Faith Through Fire. It's faiththroughfire.org is her website, and its mission is to reduce the fear and anxiety breast cancer patients feel and replace it with hope and a path toward thriving. Their programs include a texting peer mentorship program where they pair a thriving survivor with a newly diagnosed patient to encourage them during treatment. A partnership with Build-A-Bear to provide teddy bears to children impacted by breast cancer as a tangible source of emotional support. There's a podcast called Besties with Breasties, hosted by herself and other young survivors to reduce isolation and provide information. And a private online platform survivors can join to help them make healthier choices and improve the transition to survivorship. Beth lives in St. Louis with her husband, Gary, 3 children, and her dog, Buddy. So we're going to bring you on, Beth, and just FYI, we're going to give you 10 minutes. It's kind of a panel conversation. So I'm going to ask my very first question of what brought you to this moment in your life and how you formed your nonprofit. And without further ado, please welcome Beth.
Unmute.
You're muted, Beth.
Y'all, she just came out of another meeting. So she's in her car, I believe. There. No, still muted. Yeah, no, still muted.
There you go.
There you are. Yay.
Hi. Sorry, guys. Yep. I was coming from another meeting, so I'm in my car, but I am parked, so it's safe. Thanks for having me. Yeah. So what brought me to this moment was that 5 years ago when I was 35, I got breast cancer. And at the time I had a 6, a 4, and a 1-year-old. So my youngest had just turned 1 and found a lump like a lot of women and just instantly knew that it wasn't good news. And so anyway, I ended up getting a double mastectomy, chemo, radiation, drug therapy. I had 2 unexpected surgeries from a complication with reconstruction. And then 2 years after I went through treatment, I was bitten by a spider and it set off lymphedema on my arm, which is a chronic incurable condition due to treatment. So it's been quite the journey. But the reason I started Faith Through Fire was that when I was going through all that, I had somebody put me in touch with another young survivor, and she offered to kind of mentor me through the process. And that's what she did. So she was a lawyer in Chicago and we would just text back and forth. And at the time that she was doing that, I didn't really realize the impact that she was having on me. But after I was done, I really recognized how helpful it was to have another young survivor just be there for me and to answer my questions and kind of alleviate my fears as I was going through treatment. And so I started to pay it forward by mentoring other newly diagnosed patients when I was done with treatment. And really, it was my oncologist who found out what I was doing and suggested I start a program. And at first, I kind of blew her off because I didn't want to immerse myself in what was really the worst thing that had ever happened to me. But I just felt like there was something I could be doing with the experience to help others. And that's really what prompted me to investigate what I would do. And really the idea is there's a lot of nonprofits out there providing tangible support. And what I wanted to do was address the emotional component of cancer, because I think if you've had cancer, you realize that it's just as much an emotional battle, if not more so than a physical battle. So all of our programs are geared around providing emotional support.
You're muted, Jerlene. Still muted.
Sorry about that. Sorry, Beth. So prior to being diagnosed with cancer, what was your life? What was your life like then? Like what did you do prior to your nonprofit?
Yeah, so I've been in sales my entire life. From the moment I actually figured out I wanted to do sales when I was in college, because I had a magazine design class and we had to sell ads to pay for production. And everybody was complaining about it. They hated sales. They hated going door to door and asking people for money. It was just like the worst thing ever. And I loved it. And I ended up selling all the advertising and basically paying for production. And that was when I thought, oh, that's what I should be doing. So from the moment I graduated college, I was in a sales role. I've sold a little bit of everything. I've been in healthcare sales. I've sold big industrial bearings to steel mills. I've done staffing sales. And so that had always been my journey. And I really loved it. I loved the thrill of the hunt, and I enjoyed the financial gains that came with that. And so, you know, like a lot of young people, I think I had my eye on the prize, like, oh, I'm going to be a VP of sales by the time I'm this age. And I'm going to have the status and prestige that comes with that. And then, you know, with time, wisdom, and circumstance, you realize what really matters in life. And I definitely think that getting diagnosed with breast cancer completely altered my perception of what's important. And it was, so when I started mentoring other people and deciding, okay, I want to create a program, I can tell you ladies that when I went to my husband and said, hey, I'm going to give up my really lucrative sales job, we're going to live on your salary alone, and I'm going to start a nonprofit, his head about exploded. So it was quite the transition. But I've never found anything more meaningful or more fulfilling. And it's a lot of work, but to me, it's been worth it. And I think that's the biggest blessing that came out of my cancer diagnosis, was that it really took me on a path that was unfulfilling and superficial, and it put me on a path that is meaningful and beautiful and helps other people. So for that reason, I'm grateful that I had cancer, and even the resulting issues that I've had from that.
Well, thank you. Would you share with us, through your nonprofit and working with both mentors and mentees, for lack of a better way of saying it, one of your greatest success stories?
One of our great, they all have these really unique stories to them. And I think that's like the part that's really neat. I think there's a couple that stand out. One is that we had a woman who we assigned her a mentor, and they just, they hit it off, and they just had a great relationship from day one, which sometimes it happens that way. Sometimes you really bond with your person and you become friends afterward. And sometimes you're just there for that brief moment in time to get them over the hump. And then, they move on and you move on. But for them, they developed a friendship and they had this really good bond. And then the whole idea behind the mentorship program is that once that patient was done with treatment, we make them wait a year after they finish treatment, because they have to process everything they've gone through. But then after that, she became a mentor for the program. And so I think like our favorite success stories are when somebody benefits from our program and then feels so strongly about the benefit that they themselves become mentors. And so we kind of see the whole journey come full cycle. And I think what's really beautiful about it is that you think you're doing this thing for newly diagnosed patients to make it easier on them. And what mentors are really surprised to find is that by helping other people, it brings additional healing to their own journey. And so it's really a mutually beneficial relationship. So we see the mentors benefit as well as the mentees. And it's just kind of neat to see that cycle come full circle, where they go from being scared and diagnosed to then helping the newly diagnosed themselves. So her name's Christy, and that's one that just recently, she just became a mentor, and we saw that kind of happen. The other thing that I thought was really beautiful is that we talk about cancer being just as much emotional as physical, but we've had a couple women come through who struggle with mental illness. And I think there's a big stigma with mental illness. And, these women were bipolar or had severe depression. And their biggest concern when they were diagnosed was not going through breast cancer treatment, but actually how breast cancer treatment might alter or mess with their medications and their quality of life. And so it was really amazing to watch these women navigate breast cancer with so much strength and dignity, and just seeing them, face their fears. And it just makes you realize that, cancer doesn't exist in a bubble. People have other things going on in their lives, whether it be mental illness or divorce or, problems with their children. And it's just really amazing to watch people kind of travel those roads and face their fears and navigate it with such grace and integrity. And I think that was just such a blessing to me to see these women go through that and not shy away from what their fears, but just to confront them head on and to use the resources that we were offering them to help them do that better. So those are just kind of some of the things that pop into my head instantly.
I love that. Thank you. So how is it beyond a financial support? How is it that we can best support you?
Sure. Well, we're always looking for mentors. So anybody that is a year out from their last day of active treatment, and that's not counting hormone therapy, if you want to use your experience to kind of encourage the newly diagnosed, then I encourage you to fill out the form on the website. It's faiththroughfire.org, and ask to be a mentor, because we always need more mentors. Otherwise, just spreading the word. People don't know that we exist. We're a newer nonprofit. We launched in October 2019, right before COVID. And so people just aren't familiar, but 1 in 8 women, I think they're saying 1 in 7 now because of COVID, is going to get diagnosed in their lifetime. So we just want women to know that we're there for them from the day of diagnosis all the way through survivorship. And it's just about getting the word out.
Okay, that's awesome. As well as if we know someone who's recently diagnosed, we should send them to to you so that you can start that process with them with the mentoring.
Yeah. And if anybody gets diagnosed, obviously, reach out and ask for support.
One
That's
of the
awesome.
things I'd like to ask actually of all of our presenters today, maybe we could just share their websites. If you take and clip of websites and post them on Facebook that you heard, one of the speakers today for more people to know, because each one of us have followings that could learn about these programs. So that's my ask for everybody.
I love that, Karen. And as I'm going to finish up with Beth, but right now, if you have a question, if you'll put it in the chat, because we're going to have time for questions and answers here in just a second. And as well as if you raise your hand, I'll call on you. And Tiffany, if you'll watch the chat for questions, and I'll watch for the hands. Okay, so thank you. So Beth, what I loved that that unintentional gift that the mentors receive is just like the greatest blessing. It's a form of healing for them as well, I'm sure. And the other thing that your organization does that I think is really incredible is that, there's sometimes, and it's exactly why I'm a coach, sometimes the ear of a stranger, to have a safe place to vent, to whatever it is that needs to happen in a very, very safe, loving, and caring space is something that a family member can't do, a friend can't do, all of those things. So I applaud you for the gift that you are giving to the world, actually. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Actually, I'd like to comment on that, Darlene, because I'm an ovarian cancer survivor, and I attended a community wellness program, the Gilda Radner, it's something else now. But you just said something that was so true. I could not be honest with my family. They were carrying all the weight of worry about me. I couldn't say I'm scared to them. I went to my safe place where other people were sharing. I never did it. My sister, who's, just amazing, one of them that is a nurse, I couldn't tell her any of it. But it was that safe other place that Beth is providing that I'm just reflecting. I guess I've never really thought of it that way, but how safe it was.
Yeah, that's so cool. That gives me the chills just to even hear you say that, because I always say,
Yeah, go ahead.
Beth has a message from Tracy Berry McGee. She would love to have you on their wellness morning show called the Own Your Now Show to speak about your organization. Tracy spoke right before you. She's got an amazing community.
Yeah, I caught the tail end of her. She looked great. That was awesome. Yeah, I'm thrilled.
so ladies, what question do we have for Beth and Tracy and Sue? That
I think Sue left. I don't see
oh,
Sue.
she did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So for Tracy and Beth.
What questions can we ask them?
We did have another question wondering if Beth, if your organization, is a religious affiliated organization.
Yeah, it is. It's a Christian organization. That's just my own faith walk, and it was really instrumental in my recovery. But obviously, we welcome all women of all faiths and beliefs.
Great. And since Beth is in the car, Tracy, I'm going to put the email address from her website in the chat so you can grab it so you guys can connect.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah.
What other questions, ladies?
Tracy, can you tell us a quick 30-second blurb about what Own Your Now show is and what that purpose is?
Thanks for asking. So it's a wellness show I say it's for women because it's 90% women, but I spoke about it briefly when it comes to grief. Well, first off, let me just say, Beth, I love this. One of the things I didn't speak to is our girls have 3 purposes. We want them to define their purpose. So we focus on breast cancer awareness, domestic violence, and suicide prevention. And so we have pink shirts, purple shirts, and we also have red shirts, HIV awareness. And we want the girls to really decide, like, even if it doesn't impact you, it impacts your sister, it impacts your community, your mother, your sister, someone that you may know. So if you can become an advocate for those issues, then we can get awareness out. So every girl gets a pink band the month of October. and they go out and we give them the facts. We have someone sit on a hot seat and talk to them about it so that they can tell other people about it. And then we give them purple bands and we give them all the different color bands, and they wear all these bands, but they know something about each issue. And that's what being a keeper means, because oftentimes, like Karen says, the person that's impacted by it may not be the person that, like Rihanna may not want to talk about domestic violence, but we can, because we see how that impacts our community. So I thank you for that. The Own Your Now show was created out of grief. I lost my mom, and I knew I was supposed to speak. I went through her journals and she was like, you got to live your life now. Like, life is too short. So literally we went on Facebook, started asking everybody, what's in your cup? Like, what are you sipping on? Is your cup full? You know, during the midst of the pandemic, why is everybody not checking in on each other? And it went from from 1 day to every day to a week to 3. This is our 2nd year. We had 7,000 followers. It went to like 40,000 impacts. And then we got picked up by the ITV network. And so yesterday we recorded our first in studio with 3 different guests. We are on Monday through Friday. We'll be on Roku TV, Fire TV, Amazon, Apple TV, on demand. And yeah, everything is trademarked, y'all. Lynetta, she got me right. And because I don't know this business stuff, I just like to dream and make it happen. And I'm looking for women. Please, go to the chat. Please be on our show. We are intentional about diversity because, you know, everybody thinks St. Louis don't have it. So we got to show them what this looks like. It's national now. It's going to be global. Our first day out, we had Dawn Harper Nelson. You know, she was an Olympic gold champion. We air Monday, y'all. So if you got Roku, Apple TV, I get hot flashes and my whole body is like, I'm chilling right now. So I want Beth to come on and like, and our studio is so cute. We got yellow chairs, orange chairs, and we wear cute clothes and all of that. And
No, I'm in.
Yeah.
That's fun.
yeah, so all of you, I need you all on. Angie, so Mondays is motivational Mondays, Tuesday is transformational Tuesdays, women Women Empowerment Wednesdays, Thursday is tell me something good about your business, and Fridays is Freedom Friday. And we need sponsors, y'all. So like, if you want us to come to wherever you are, or if you want to just place a quick ad or you know, a commercial, it's global. Like, we all need to be a part of this. I'm not just saying it, but Own Your Now really means own your now, same word. And
Rebecca, you need to be on there talking about women's rights.
yes,
Yeah.
that women's empowerment. Yes.
She has her own radio show too. What's the name of your radio show, Rebecca?
It's What's Up Around Town. And I
Yeah.
put it on SoundCloud, and it is through the Chamber of Commerce at Radio 63119 in North Webster.
Love it. Love it. So
What's
we only
up around
got
town?
y'all. Let's do it.
Yeah, you could be on there about building trust, the whole thing that you've been working on, Sheba Pincus.
Oh yeah, building trust among women in communities and creating self-care programs so that we can trust ourselves, and then we can use that to serve.
Yes.
Amy has a free assessment that would be neat to be interviewed on there and offer the free assessment, wouldn't it, Amy?
Yeah, actually, it's funny because I just texted that to Tracy, that really helping us assess our thought habits. Are they supporting or sabotaging our success? And what are 2 millimeter changes we can make immediately to get back to joy, happiness, and life balance? So I would love to do that, and I'll put it in the chat.
And
That's
Angie
awesome.
Monko is like everybody on here. There would be, every one of you has something to share. Catherine Frazier on leadership, and Jana's with us. Jana, you joined us.
Hey, Jana.
Karen Jenkins. I mean, everybody has something that can share to help other people. All of us have had a journey that has brought some things along to be shared.
So real quick, because we have like I'm going to say 3 minutes. Rebecca, I'm deviating from the agenda because tomorrow is Women's Equality Day, and I believe we need to hear from you about what we get to celebrate, what you shared earlier before everyone was on. I would love
Yeah,
for you
I'd
to
be
share that.
delighted. Thank you so much, Darlene. Tomorrow is the 101st anniversary of US women nationwide getting the legal right to vote. It took over 70 years of dedicated activism for women to overcome the incredible patriarchy of the 19th century. I mean, it's hard to believe, but in the 19th century, men had a legal right to beat their wives. Women were excluded from education, from most of the professions. Men had custody of children in divorce without any consideration of whether he might be in prison, a drunkard, whatever. Women had very, very, very few rights. And they achieved a lot, and the vote, to me, is a first step. And that was 101 years ago that it became part of the Constitution. And I am doing a fundraiser happy hour because I believe we need to celebrate this day. Tomorrow is not International Dog Day. Please do not put your dog on social media. Tomorrow is Women's Equality Day. And you are all invited to a happy hour in Webster Groves at the Hearth Room, which is right next to the Hawken House at the Historical Society. And suffrage white is the dress recommendation. It's not required. And we're going to have a great happy hour. I have a fabulous musician who's going to play music and also do a song from the 1920s suffrage era. We have a reenactor of Sojourner Truth. My dear friend Tia Atkins is a reenacting Sojourner Truth. So if you ever want your picture with Sojourner Truth, please come. We're going to do an author signing. We're going to have a couple of authors there for Kathy Davis's new book, Living My Truth, Personal Reflections of the LBG Legacy. And full disclosure, I'm an author in that book, and so is Pat Powers, who will be there. Anyway, this is a fundraiser for the National Women's Political Caucus St. Louis, which has been around for 50 years and has elected numerous women to office that fight for women's issues. And right now, only 25% of our elected offices nationwide, in Missouri, wherever, are held by women, which means 75% of them are held by men. So this is another second step. The other is the ERA. And you're all invited. And if you're one of the three nonprofits and Miss Karen Hoffman, who owns the most fantastic nonprofit, you're all invited to be my guest if you have a nonprofit. And the rest of you, I put the link in the chat. I'll put it in again. Would love to see you tomorrow. It'll be air conditioned. It is a vaccinated only event. So if you are an anti-vaxxer, you'll have to do something else with your evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. And it just, you reminded me when you were talking about that. So I'm out here, as I alluded, in Wyoming, and sometimes men don't even know what they say. Like we were on this ATV ride, and I was asking about other programs, and he says, even the women are good. And I thought, and I did have a comment later to my husband about even the women. It's like, yeah, right. And I literally said to him, I go, oh, I would prefer a woman. Thank you. Just like that.
Oh my God.
Anyway, I just think that what Sheva said, so much work to be done. And it's really all starts from the foundation of love in my book. And the more that we love humanity, the more it is easier just to accept and embrace everybody for where they are. So thank you. So next we want to give some shout outs to Gateway to Dreams. If you are a recipient of any of the gifts of Gateway to Dreams in forms of friendships, referrals, enhancing your life quality, however that is, that would be so awesome for you to share with us. We're going to take a couple of minutes to do that.
Crickets.
I'll share.
Go ahead, Amy.
Hey, good morning, everyone. You know, I want to just share my gratitude with Karen and Shava and so many of you that I've connected with offline. Yesterday was 2 years ago that I moved back to St. Louis after going through a very expensive divorce, leaving Chicago, really feeling like I pressed the reset button on my life. And this community has not only welcomed me, but it's helped me feel like I'm part of a new group of friends. And you know, after 14 years of being away from this town, I've changed, my family's changed, my friends have changed. So I really felt like starting over and meeting new friends and making new connections was a huge part of my happiness of where I am now. So I just want to thank all of you for this community. And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
Sure.
So I know for nobody's jumping in, so I'm sorry if you have to hear my voice again. However, I would also say that from the very beginning of me shifting my life, Amy, I didn't move from place to place or experience, you know, a breakup of a marriage. But what I did do was I went from being an educator to an entrepreneur with very, very few support in any of the circle that I had. And I knew immediately that the way to become successful is to surround yourself with the people who believed in your success and who believe in your dreams. And truly, Karen and I've spent time speaking about this. Truly, Karen is that person that not only does she support and hold space for your dreams, she gathers in people who, you know, like energy attracts energy, right? She gathers those, she surrounds herself with the people that also hold space for you as you're taking footing in your dreams and your goals. And in all of the years that I've done this, I've not met anyone quite like this organization or like Karen, that no matter what, she's holding that space. So for that, I'm forever grateful. And getting the opportunity to facilitate is just such a great blessing for me. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I've shared before, but I've literally, and Karen would remember probably better than I, that when she held the first Joy of Goals for our, I met her through Connections to Success. So which was like either somewhere between 2005 and 2007-ish, somewhere in that area. So literally it's been, you know, decades, or at least one. And so, you know, she's been in my world for a long time. And even if it's just like been on and off through social media when I wasn't really, really connected, but she's always been a connector. No matter how like close you are, you know, to her, she's always there and available to you. And then when you're right in the groove of her, like, you know, I've been, you know, always attending the CPW, the Y, you know, all the letters, all the acronyms that we have through Gateway. You know, Karen is always there. Sheva is always there for me. And I'm so grateful for the both of them, and always be like going out of their way to be a blessing to me. And I love you both and the community for being there. So thank you.
Thank you, Jana, very much.
Thank
Means a
you.
lot.
So Heidi, let me find Heidi. Heidi is going to share a
Heidi is
little
hiding.
Heidi is hiding. If we can bring her back and have her share with us about some of the things going on at Gateway to Dreams.
Bear with me, I'm still navigating the PowerPoint. I haven't been on this in a while, so this has been extremely refreshing. So thanks, guys. Everybody did a great job. It's great to see everybody. I just wanted to show the slide of the board that does an amazing job that's helped Karen get to where she is with the magazine going now through the pandemic and everything. They've really stepped up. And I know we've got the newer board member, Dr. Marty K. Casey, that's just brought a huge impact to that board. And I know Kathy Lambert has been freed up quite a bit since Connections to Success has taken off so well. And she's really helped Karen with her fundraising efforts. And it's just been a really great year with the board.
We are missing Dawn Barry's picture on there, so we need to get that.
Making a note.
Hmm.
And then here's our group of volunteers. I know there's a whole lot more than are on this slide, but without this group of volunteers, Gateway to Dreams to not be where they're at today. So thank you, everybody there, and your continued support on that. And then do we have the donate slide? Missy did a great job with the PowerPoint. I haven't even seen it till I started running it. So yeah, if you guys could go to Gateway to Dreams, make a donation, pass the link around. Again, our fundraising efforts have been tremendous this year, but we still need donations. Just trying to keep our programs going, and just trying to spread the word of the dreams and how great St. Louis is, and keep it in our community growing with the nonprofits and the businesses that are making a big difference. So thanks everybody that donates and helps us with that. Karen, do you have anything more to add before we do the closing quote?
No, we'll have the I am responsible, but yeah, nothing. Thank you.
Okay, well,
So
so
the
before we
closing
have
quote
our,
today-
wait,
Sorry.
before we have that, I just wanted to say thank you, Heidi and Tiffany, for jumping on today and helping us navigate and share everything. And Karen, a special thank you for being the leader of holding space for dreamers and all that you do to support and love us. Thank you.
I like that title, Holding Space.
That's what you do.
And I want to thank Darlene for jumping in unexpectedly. She did not know she was going to be emceeing today, and she did an amazing job. And I want to thank her for sharing her presence and her light and her joy. Thank you, Darlene.
Thank you. It's an honor. Thank you.
Yes, thank you guys. So our closing quote is going to be, don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart. And
Ooh,
just
that's
so
nice.
true.
That is
Hang on, I have to
beautiful
take a picture of that.
a beautiful quote.
That is beautiful. Okay, Karen, you want to introduce Pookie Lee's I Am Responsible?
Well, actually, for those that have never been on before, a song that I fell in love with in 2014 after Michael Brown died, Pookie Lee wrote, I Am Responsible. And it's about all of us taking responsibility for our lives and our communities. And so in closing, we sing this song together. So Tiffany will cue it up. Don't we mute ourselves, Tiffany? We mute ourselves.
Yes.
I started to mute myself while I was talking, but we'll mute ourselves and you'll hear Pookie, but we sing along. So I know it sounds a little wokey or hokey, but the words matter. All right. Tiffany, do you have anything before we get off to
Nope,
add?
that was perfectly said. If
Okay, thanks,
everybody wants to mute
everybody.
yourself, and I'll start the song. We can start watching you lip sync. Here we
Thanks
go.
everybody for being on and for contributing in whatever way you did. Thank you.
Can everybody hear it okay and see the words?
I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. Looking around the world, and what do I see? So many things in a state of need, pain and suffering all around me. I won't stand by and just let this be, 'cause I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. Everywhere, everyone wants to be free. Some look around and say, it's not me. How can they close their eyes and not see? It all comes down to me. Because I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I'm reliable, accountable, dependable, invincible. I'm capable, incredible, responsible. I'm reliable, accountable, dependable, invincible. I'm capable, incredible, responsible. 'Cause I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I say I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I said I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. To leave the world a better place. To leave the world a better place. Come on and leave the world a better place. Yeah.
All right, everybody, have a great month. And don't forget, if you want to save the chat, you can do that real quick before you log out. Directions are in the chat. See you next month.
Wait a minute, we have an Alex. Where did she come from? Alex.